We from the TOLEDOOHIO. We from the TOLEDOOHIO. Welcome to another episode of the Two E-Ali and the Tule Do. I'm your boy, your host, man, a.k.a. I'm your boy, your host, E-Ali, a.k.a. Mudbone, the city marshal. This is Toledo, Ohio's premier podcast, man, urban podcast. Yeah, we broadcasting 45 minutes out of Detroit, Michigan. Considered pothole capital USA. You know what I mean? We roughly an hour, I think two and a half hours from Cleveland. We got Chicago by 5 hours. We can get to Cincinnati in 3. We can get to Columbus, Ohio in two hours. We can get to Indianapolis, I think, in like 4 hours, maybe. And St. Louis, we can get there in 8. Atlanta in 12 hours. So I only threw them cities out in the time in which it take to give you an ideal of our location. Geographically, we in a dope spot, cause like I say, we can touch those major cities and a couple of those major cities in the same day. Like I can get up in the morning, go to Detroit, be up out of there in a couple hours or so. Bam, be in Cleveland by lunch, make a couple moves, and I could be roughly in Chicago doing a late dinner. You know what I'm saying? If traffic is well, you know. So on the location side of things, you know, we in a nice spot. But yeah, man, this is another episode of the Tule Do E-Ali. You know, bringing the unique 30-minute well, basically not hot, but just, you know, interesting, funny, serious, wholehearted conversation on some of the topics and issues that we face here in Toledo. Uniquely so. Just like I said, being that we so close, we also get family members that's in some of those locations, man, that also some of that shit affect our city, especially, you know, Detroit. But nevertheless, man, in the news this week on the national side, where I'm still in the process of developing a title where, you know, where you do a segment within the show about an individual, a place, people, places, or things. But nevertheless, man, we got an issue, or not an issue. We don't have an issue. The brother Terrence Hitch, a.k.a. Boosie Badass, Louisiana rapper, was was in court the other day, I think like 2 days ago. But nevertheless, he had a gun case, I think out there in San Diego, California, and he ended up the case got dismissed, but then the feds came in and rearrested him for federal violation, I guess possibly weapon violation, being that he was a felon and got caught with that, got caught being around pistols or had a pistol or something like that. But the state dropped the case and the feds pick it up. You know, that's typical. You know what I mean? You can have a state case and they drop it, and then the feds come in and pick that case up. You know, that's how a lot of shit go. You know, but nevertheless, man, stay safe. But you know, that's tough for a guy like him, man, because we done seen within the last few years him doing a lot of interviews on certain platforms and networks and things of that nature, certain podcasts. You know, you done seen him in all kind of places. They also had a incident when I think a homosexual gay dude approached him about some things he had said about the LBG community. You know what I mean? He was tough and on their head roughly like 2 years ago, you know, stating his opinion and how he feel about that issue. And I think it was also he said something clever about D Wade's son or D Wade's child. But nevertheless, yeah, Boosie found himself in some trouble. Then you got a brother, Charleston White, who aggravated or agitate or promote for the charges or federal charges to be brought up on brother Bootsy. You know what I mean? That's I don't know. Me personally, I don't know dude angle, man. Like I agree with some of the shit he say. You know what I mean? Like it's a lot of brothers I agree with, but then there's some shit I also disagree with in terms of the way they handle the situation. You know what I mean? But for this brother to be advocating for another brother to be incarcerated, I don't agree with that. Now I can see you stating your your beef with some of the ways or some of the things the individual possibly say, but the actual advocate for incarceration, you know, that's kind of absurd to me, especially coming from a brother who possibly also came from the street and who also advocate that he works community programs and things of that nature. I think he also found himself incarcerated. So I find that humorous for someone to have, you know, promote who have been locked up themselves and promote someone else to be locked up. Because for me, man, you know, when I found myself in that situation, I can honestly say that I wouldn't wish incarceration on my worst enemy. Not that the torturous nature of it or what goes on. Nah, it ain't about none of that. I'm talking about simply that's an environment or that's a situation that's unnatural to man. You know, to be incarcerated, to be away from your family, to take a man away from, you know, the possibility of being with a woman. You know what I'm saying? So, with that being said, that's fucked up to me that dude Charleston White would be promoting for Boosie for his demise or for his situation to be bad, you know, to get to max or for any length of time to be incarcerated. That's crazy to me that this brother would be promoting for another brother to to find himself in a situation like that. That's crazy. Um, but yeah, man, this your boy E.I. Lee. You know, it's another episode of the E.I. Lee and the Thule Do. A podcast, premier podcast from Toledo, Ohio, broadcasting from Toledo, Ohio. Every Thursday between 5 and 7, brother make an attempt to get on these waves, man, and voice his opinion about it's basically E.I. Lee and the Thule Do. It's a weekly recap of the local news, shit that's being said or heard in the street, Facebook drama or whatever, TikTok shit, whatever's popping off in the week that sparked the interest of or motivate my interests and my concerns, the shit that I find are relevant to my community that would definitely help us to grow and you know, to avert any bad or negative steps into some bullshit. So always trying to promote the positive, you know what I mean? Growth and development, you know what I mean? Trying to always promote motivation, or progress. So yeah, this is a weekly recap of some of the shit that's going down. So to hit some shit that's within our reach and in our city, the company Bitwise Industry is closing. Um, it's funny about that company because it hadn't even opened up. It was in the development phases of of opening a new office, and this it's a tech company. Um, they do um, coding. I think coding is one of the main things they get off into. Think they get off into some programming, but the thing is that they primarily go into deprived areas, areas that's struggling. Take old buildings, rehab them, and then the people within that neighborhood or that community, the undermined it. I mean the underestimate. Well, I take that back. Um, the disenfranchised people who don't have an opportunity um, at these type of jobs. Bitwise come in, help train them, help coach people up to take these. I mean, to be innovative in some of these tech jobs and things that nature. But you got Bitwise. It deployed about 300 to 400 people, employees in Fresno, California, and it was about 900 people in the company throughout California and across the United States. They had places in Toledo, Ohio. That's why I'm mentioning it. We had one down. They took the old Jefferson Center and was in the process of re-innovating that. But now that they done closed and furloughed all close to 900 and some odd people, places like Toledo, they had a place in Buffalo, New York. They were starting South Side, Chicago, Illinois, El Paso, Texas, and I think it was another place like New Mexico. I think it was. Those were some of the places outside of California, in which they had made investments and bought buildings and was in the process of renovating renovating those buildings and things of that nature to employ people within those cities. Toledo, like I said, the Jefferson Center was close to being finished and was about to open. But I find it, they didn't give too much details as to why when I did some investigation to the overall company and why they decided. But I found that they had partners with like companies like Google, MasterCard, J.P. Morgan, Chase and Company, and Gingerbread Capital. And I mentioned those companies because like those are like real big companies that got like capital. Like Google is a $1 trillion company. Um, Mastercard is a 355.13 billion dollar company. J JP JP Morgan and Chase is a 415.2 billion dollar company, and Gingerbread Capital have like over 50 million dollars. And so partnering with with those individuals and a few more like ProMedica, and with ProMedica definitely having some financial situation or going through some financial times, I could see where some of that lack of funding for the projects here possibly would have been delayed. But also, what's not being discussed or what's not being said is the fact that you got the new AI. AI is the one that you have to consider possibly the reason why companies like Big Wise will be finding themselves in a unique situation when it comes to being able to financially or being able to stay afloat, because within a weekend somebody can do coding through AI, enough coding for your whole company in 6 months, and you might have a company of six to eight to 20 employees. And here this AI can outdo your whole workforce. So that's going to put companies and people in a real tough spot these years to come. I would like to see possibly how it would affect like teachers. You know what I mean? I could see something like teachers, a bank, places like that where it's, personnel or having an individual to hold that job is going to be almost obsolete, especially if your AI is able to comprehend, think, analyze, research all at one time. We in trouble, foreign as intellectuals, job wise. So it's gonna go back more or less to the manual labor. Like, what can you do? What can you produce? You know, that's where that's going. But yeah, Big Wise industry, man. Like I said, laid off over 900 people last week. Furloughed all 900 people throughout the country. Um, Out there in Fresno, California, got hit the hardest because they had roughly 300 to 400 people working for the company within Fresno, um, of the 900. So they really took a hit. But again, cities like Toledo, El Paso, Texas, um, Buffalo, New York, um, New Mexico, and South Chicago, Illinois, um, being that they didn't went in and bought possibly a few buildings in each spot and try and renovated those places, but laid off the whole staff that was potentially was being hired within the next few months. Because I know the building downtown, the old Jefferson Center, as I stated earlier, was a building that the Big Wise industry had purchased and was in the process partnering with Google, MasterCard, JP Chase, Gingerbread, and a few others. ProMedica here, Hunts Capital, I think it is, a couple more venture capitalist individuals that was funding Big Wise, but for them to just close their doors abruptly like that without forewarning has caused the mayor of Fresno to be quite upset, and plus just here, I'm sure the mayor and possibly ProMedica has some kind of disposition towards the company in which the way they just close shop. But yeah, man, this your boy E. Ali in the Thule Do, putting it down again, man. Another episode of just a 30-minute recap of the news. Earlier we was talking about Boosie, man. Boosie got caught up. The hip hop artist, rapper, Louisiana guy, Terrence Hitch, from Louisiana. Terrence Hitch, aka Boosie, was rearrested after gun charges was dismissed out of San Diego. A case in which he caught a couple years ago was resolved and was being dismissed, and the feds picked up the case. So Boosie find himself in a tough situation. In a short time, but in the process of that, you got your boy Charleston White kicking dirt on the brother, man. Happy about him being incarcerated, was on there laughing and shit like that. You have to assume by now, just looking at this dude, man, he definitely working with the people. You know what I'm saying? He definitely, all out working with them, trying to aggravate situations, man, trying to blow them up more into what they are, to for some clout chasing or whatever, or financial gain. I'm assuming. You know what I'm saying? I don't think a guy be putting himself out there at risk for nothing. You know what I mean? But you could see that he definitely got some handlers. He got people that's pushing that and got him up there pushing it. You know what I'm saying? So that's sad that brother Boosie, man, got re-jammed up. In the city, man. It ain't nothing, man. You don't work, you don't eat. I can just say, man, I'm advocating for the young brothers and sisters anywhere from age 18 to 25, possibly to 30, man. Come get this money. Go get you a job. You need that. You need three forms of income. You got to have a income where you working for one, far as you trading your time for a few dollars. You don't work, you don't eat. We gotta encourage these individuals to get out here and to get at something though. Like we all need to be making a positive effort in terms of getting at this capital. I'm talking about you got all kind of jobs out here, man, that's hiring. You know what I mean? So I encourage your people, encourage your son, your daughter, You know what I mean? To get out there and get at this hustle, get at this paper, apply for some of these jobs, manual jobs, construction jobs. I mean, they out here trucking. Like, I man, anybody that's like, for me, like 21, no kids. You know what I mean? You not a college type dude. You want to see a little of the world. You lightweight in between the fence of like going to the military. Go get your CDLs. Go get your CDLs. Make it happen, man. Within 10 years, you could walk away from that situation, man, and stack your chips. You know what I'm saying? Before you independently go get the driving for yourself, what I suggest you do is get with a company and drive for them. Tear they shit up first. Learn the ropes, then go get your own wagon. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, this your boy, man, E.I. Lee, in the Thule do. Um, 30 minutes of real, intense, funny, informative, motivating conversation, you know, on top of it being a weekly news recap, you know what I mean, talking about things that's irrelevant not only to the city, but the surrounding area. Also, we dip off into some of the local things, local news and shit like that. Like this week we talked about just Boosie and the case that he just caught. But yeah, man, for the young brothers, man, this rap shit and glorifying the street shit, you can get on something else, man. You know what I mean? It was a lot of dudes before this gangster rap or the thug shit came out. They was making money with the lyrics. You know what I mean? From Eric being Rakim to Public Enemy, you know what I mean, to KRS-One, you know what I mean? Them dudes wasn't all talking about busting a cat head and talking about ops and all that goofy ass shit, man. You know what I mean? Uplift and motivate your people, man. Quit talking that bullshit. Having these kids believe that shit is real. You know what I mean? But this your boy E.I. Lee, man, in the Thule do another weekly recap of the local and national news that affect not only our community but the surrounding areas. News that affect the world. Shit that I find irrelevant to us, man, here in Toledo, Ohio. That's what this is. This your boy E.I. Lee, man, in the Thule do with another episode. We closing out, man. I pre-recorded the show. You know what I mean? Had some things to do, but still wanted to get the word out. But like I said, the thing that popped off real big here locally within the last week, man, is this big Bitwise Industries. I suggest y'all check it out. Bitwise Industries. They closed down. They had to. That was them people that was had opened up the reopen up and redeveloping and reinnovating, not reinnovating, but reinnovation of the Jefferson Center. You know what I mean? So this company then just shut down abruptly. Just 900 people throughout the country just said fuck their jobs. Here they partner with like Google, MasterCard, JP Morgan and Chase, $1 trillion company, $1 billion companies, man. And and also locally ProMedica was backing them. You know what I mean? So for them people to just say fuck them jobs and fuck the development or renovate the redevelopment of the Jefferson Center, bringing that back and bringing jobs. to disenfranchised people, man, is sad. You know what I'm saying? So I hope the city, man, finds some kind of funding, finds some um, company that can come in and offer those same type of services, possibly. So we'll see. You know, not reporting. It was a shooting a couple days ago, but really not reporting. You know, staying away from the negative and shit. You know what I mean? When it's needed to talk about some of the bullshit to go on with the gun violence and domestic violence and shit like that, um, we'll talk about it. But nevertheless, man, this your boy E. Ali in the Thule Do with the new weekly recap. I'm your boy, your host, a.k.a. Mudbone, the city marshal, signing out. Peace. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, yeah. We from the Toledo. We from the Toledo. Welcome to another weekly news recap. I'm your boy, your host, E. Ali, in the Thule Do, the podcast. Again, welcome. Hey, man, another episode, another vibe, another moment, another time, another place. You know what I mean? Always asking the question who, what, where, why, and when. You know why we do this thing. But this is a podcast, man, from premier podcast, being, we on the waves out of Toledo, Ohio, 45 minutes out of Detroit, Michigan. We considered one of the pothole capital, USA, the Thule Do, mud made, we in the mud, so to speak. We one of them spots, man, literally in the urban community where we actually get it from the bottom, man. You know what I'm saying? It's a unique situation here. You know what I mean? Nevertheless, geographically located in a premier spot, man, to be able to elevate in this turbulent time, in this changing time as we on this course of this major reset of the world order. Toledo is like I said, 45 minutes south of Detroit. We sit like 2 hours away, 2.5 hours away. Cleveland is on the east of us, or the east of the Great Lake. Now, these is all the spots that Toledo is connected to the Great Lake for the most part, and the Maumee River, or the Ohio River as well. But Cleveland, you got Chicago, that's only like 5 hours away from us, 6 at the max, depending on traffic. You know what I mean? You got Indianapolis, 4.5 hours. Cincinnati, three hours. You know what I mean? You can get to St. Louis in 8, Atlanta in 12, and New York in 12. You know what I'm saying? So, with that being said, we in a new unique spot, because I always say, I just driving, right? I can have breakfast in Detroit. I can have, in just driving, I can get up in the morning, go have breakfast in Detroit, kick it, hang out a little bit, make it to Cleveland by lunchtime, right? make a move or two, and be in Chicago for a late dinner. Just driving, you know what I'm saying? So that just put us in a unique spot. I always like the emphasis of the Thule do Toledo, because when it ain't nothing to do here, we so close to these other cities, we find ourselves most of the time from this spot going to these other spots because it's so close. You know, we can travel to them quickly, so to speak. We always can get to Detroit, like we in Detroit's backyard. You know, once upon a time, Detroit dudes was through here back in the crack era when the crack first hit. They was running through this joint. You know what I mean? Times changed though. Nevertheless, again, 45 minutes from the city. You know, we be there. You know, man, had some things. You know, again, this is a weekly news recap on some of the things. For me, with some things going on in the city, it's always some shooting and shit like that, man. It's, you know, that always go on, you know, for the most part, which is sad and unfortunate, especially when we, at this time, we should know better. But however, man, the one thing that caught me within this whole week was the celebration of Juneteenth. You know, did just a light little research on the thing. You know, not nothing big, not nothing to get all crazy about. You know, I ain't gonna do a term paper or essay on it, but nevertheless, I'm gonna do this 30-minute, seriously funny, you know, uplifting the community podcast, this weekly news week recap on that celebration alone. And I only say that because, like, not even a couple weeks after or whatever, you know, we'll be celebrating the 4th of July, you know. So, but I guess for me, the thing is the thorn in the thorn in my backside about the whole thing of the commercialization of it. You know, we really don't benefit because the corporations for the most part then took over that. You know what I'm saying? But then if you do just a small little research in how we got this day or this celebration, just read a little bit of it. It's June 19th, which is 1865, the date that all people living in the United States, including formerly enslaved, were officially granted freedom. So, and then on on June 17th, 2021, President Obama signed a bill into law making it known as Juneteenth, a national holiday. You know, but on the thing for me, man, is confusing. It's like it was officially, because here's the thing. On January 1st, 1863, ahead of the third year of the Civil War, President Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation. You know, this was supposed to be an official document to supposedly freed or abolish slavery as the practice within the United States. So the proclamation was a document, you know, supposedly supposed to had gave freedom to enslave people or Americans once enslaved, natives of this land. mind you. But for June 19th, 1865 to be the official date, I mean, because, Texas had, being that it was and I was doing some reading, being that it was one of the furthest states from the Union, so to speak, where Lincoln and was, of the 13 colonies, they still practice slavery. And some, general or after the war went through there and found out that they were still holding individuals enslaved. So really this day wasn't really a day of celebration, Juneteenth for the most part. It was really, if you look at it, it was a day in which um a crime was discovered. Because if the proclamation was signed on January 1st, 1863, anybody who was still practicing slavery after that, it was a crime. And so to find out June 19th, the official date when, um, they rescued these people from this plantation within Texas and made it official day, um, that was a day that you discovered a crime had been committed. And then now you done turned it into, so to speak, a celebration. You know what I mean? I get it, man. I mean, I'm African. I'm a melanated man. I'm from the land, so I'm definitely sympathetic to that. But I'm also in a different thought because, see, the one thing that you have to understand, like, it's different categories of Negroes, so to speak. And when I say Negroes, I'm talking about melanated people, people who share this dark skin, so to speak. You know, um, they always seem to put us at odds at one another. You know, whenever one of us raise up just a thought, we all supposed to, so to speak, follow the same thought. Like I don't supposed to be in opposition right now to the celebration. My thing is just for black folks and just from the suffering us, they always keep us in a situation where we celebrating. You know what I mean? When most of the time and most of our days, man, we suffering, and for the most part, at it's self inflicted. Um, because and at this point, with all the education and with all the tools, with all the devices, all the apps, there's no excuse for the lack of, what I mean, or not knowing, what I mean. So I just think that, or I put myself in a situation where, I put myself in a situation where I'm constantly trying to be better informed. Again, we have a lot of devices, apps. Um, we even got AI now that can help out in terms of where mankind or where an individual find themselves lacking with a certain understanding on something. Now, the only thing that I don't like about the AI thing, for the most part, um, it don't allow an individual to explore their imagination and to do the trial and error of things. You know what I mean? Because, like, for the most part, like when you write paper from your own thoughts, right? It's a certain spiritual and it's a certain connection that goes on with that, especially when you can manipulate and when you have a big vocabulary of words and you can, that's why rappers is so powerful because just they wordplay. One of my favorite rappers of all time, man, is KRS-One. In just terms of his wordplay, word selection, you know, one of the like and cats for me, and I'm only saying it like talking about a little hip hop too with it or whatever, is the fact that, we celebrating the 50 years of hip hop as well. And so within them 50 years, when I look back, KRS-One for me, you know what I mean, has been one of them dudes, man, where just seeing the evolution of it, you know, to be in the game when it first started, you know, the appearance of, you know, street thing in the street, you know, um, and giving you the hardcore hip hop, then jumping into the intellectual and then into the Pan Africanism type form of hip hop where you know you uplifting the people and moving us towards a different place. And so cause you know it ain't about being thuggish in the street thing, cause that's what for the most part hip hop started to promote. But it was a time where it was promoting the positive vibes, like groups like X Clan. It was times where even early on, they always hip hop always had, despite they got a little grimy, they always promoted a little positivity as well within the music. Like even cats don't realize with NWA, they had a track called "Respect Yourself." You know what I'm saying? And if you listen to it, them cats was talking about it. Goody Mob and Outkast had "Get Up and Get Out and Get Something." You know, don't spend your time getting high. You know, don't spend all your time getting high. You know what I mean? So those messages, and like again, KRS-One them had headed for self destruction. You know what I'm saying? And then when the hip hop, then also the West Coast came out with what was that one they came out with, man? Damn, I forgot the West Coast had um that same hookup. I apologize because I'm just going off the thoughts. I didn't have none of this shit written down, so I kind of went off script about that. So that's why the lack of knowing which song that was. That we in the same gang, I think it was for the West Coast, if I'm not mistaken. We all in the same gang. So, but nevertheless, man, getting back to the Juneteenth thing, you know, it just upset me that, you know, corporations, you know, other, you know, it's not a, it's not like a go buy black or go buy, um, you know, let's get them some funding, or let's, you know, this is a day that, you know, all African Americans or all Africans or melanated people, I would say, you know, dark skinned, dark complexion people, not a day off of work, but a paid day. You know, we ain't gotta come to work that day or something. Everything free. Where we go, whatever, you know, free. You know, make it a real celebration. You know, little steps into the thing. But yeah, man, this your boy E. Ali in the Tule Do, the podcast, premier podcast out of Toledo, Ohio, 45 minutes out of Detroit, Michigan. You know, uh, a weekly news recap, man, of the news and the shit that's going on around here. You know, the vibe. You know, we in a different time now, man. Shit kind of, to me, kind of getting fucked up. You can see it, especially, you know, just like with the businesses and things of that nature, man. You know, like McDonald's can't even keep or successfully complete your order in a lot of times, man. You know what I mean? You see where it's a lot of young people or a lot of people with not the quality to be in some of those positions where they they putting those people in them positions, you know. But that's just my observation of it. You know what I mean? The feel of it, because you know I'm a older, well, not older. Well, I'm 50. I'm in the 50s. I'm in the mid early 50s. So with that being said, man, I got a certain vibe on things. You know, I'm a 70s baby. You know, I also, you know, again went through the era, the crack era. You know, that's one of the changing points of this whole situation to me. You know what I mean? That I see how things changed up, but then I also see how things repeated. You know, now to be dealing with the the pill and the heroin crisis that we face. You know, so just that, bro. The vibe is off on a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? Especially with the kids. You know, I see they got a different attitude for the most part. You know, I can see where they really don't. They're not trusting into the and they're not trustful of of than adults because they see how we bickering and acting on certain issues. They see how we see certain things are important more than other things. You know, just like here locally, man. You know, we got the Zablocki Center on LaGrange, which serves um, the elderly for the most part. But the facility is designed for should be designed for the community. Now, just to have this building primarily just for the senior citizens within the community, it only probably service maybe 40, 50 at the most. I may see at times. I don't even see that on a consistent basis. Like we need to do an audit of that place. So like how many how many senior citizens being serviced in that building? Because they can go somewhere else. That's a lot of money being spent to uphold that building just for a few people. And all I'm saying is suggesting is turn it for the youth because you didn't shut down the Carswell James Carswell building. They don't do nothing out of there but some fucking United Way shit. You know, probably stage where they gonna set the meals up or some shit like that. I mean, this building got basketball courts. You know, used to serve the community well before his son took over. You know, when Pops had the building, it was doing its thing for the community. You know, I also see that the Powell done put a new baseball or multi-complex baseball, look like baseball and soccer, down there at the old Leverett building. You know what I mean? Which I don't get it. You got a brand new facility, a brand new baseball facility that you could have made multi-purpose at Joey Brown Park. Like we are not a baseball spot, bro. Like this is Hoop Nation. Hooping, we inspired for football. Like why y'all keep bringing baseball? Like I get it, baseball, but y'all should be doing that some other where, not in the inner city, bro. We hoop. But again, city council a few years ago when they brought the hoop, because look at the Joey Brown, go up to Joey Brown, they got two brand new hoop courts. Only one of them is active. They got one court up there with no rims on it, where the city then took the rims from it. Because city council before, they said that when they was building that facility that they wasn't gonna put no hoop courts up there because it brought the wrong element, meaning it brought Negroes. And the reason why, just look at our parks and look at the two major parks in the city now, Ottawa Park and Wallbridge. There's not a basketball court in sight. Why is that? Just ask yourself, man. This is what, now you want to celebrate Juneteenth, you know. Again, the corporations make that money. That's another day to throw us off, another day to get us to spend our money, to go buy that's another day to barbecue. First day, a couple days right before summer, you niggas got free. That kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? Holy Toledo. That's one of them moments, man. That's a Holy Toledo moment that we gonna Allow Juneteenth to be a real big thing to us. Barbecue, potato chips, apple pie, push-ups, the ice cream push-ups, or some kind of freeze pop or something. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, all it take is a pencil. All it take is a paper, a piece of paper and a pencil, man. A piece of paper and a pencil will change shit. You can get motherfuckers to do a dance if you got the right, what can I say? If you got the right registry, the right certification, you know, if you can find your auditor, man, and or what they call them people, a notary, and you get that official state seal on your shit. You know what I'm saying? A piece of paper and a pencil is devastation. It's devastating. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, this is your boy E.I. Lee. We in the Thule Do. This is the podcast, premier podcast out of Toledo, Ohio. You had joined us for another episode, man, of a weekly news recap where we just seriously funny talk about some of the bullshit that go on around here in Toledo, Ohio. You know what I mean? Trying to get a clear picture. You know what I mean? Put our 2 cents in, put our 2 cents together, and try to make $1. You know, we're going to get a couple segments going on to make this thing, you know, a little bit more saucier. I got a segment that's going to start appearing, or we're going to do a week within the weekly podcast. There's a segment called Holy Toledo, where it's shit that's like, you know, it's like your donkey of the day or your shoe booty award from D.L. Hughley show, and the donkey of the day that your boy from the Breakfast Club. I'm man, you know what it is. But nevertheless, this is Holy Toledo. That's that. Like, that's that shit that's like, whoa. You know what I mean? Some shit that just made you say, damn, that's fucked up that happened like that. So it'll be a Holy Toledo moment. Then just to stay within the vibe, you know, it's always positive to have some financial literacy, you know, trying to create generational wealth. So we got a segment in the podcast, man, that's going to be coming within the next episode, Stack a Dollar. You know what I mean? I'm trying to get my boy Stack to do that. But it's a Stack a Dollar, basically just a podcast where you talk about financial moves and shit like that. You know what I mean? Shit that's happening on the you know, money wise, where the investments are. You know what I mean? Which ones to look out for. You know, entrepreneurial tips and shit like that. So that segment of the Thule Do podcast is being developed. Hopefully next week we'll get a taste, a glimpse of that, what's going on. Again, we got a segment, Holy Toledo, and Stack a Dollar. Also, the production company of this podcast is 41 Shine. That's a company in which I thought 41 Shine. That's where we from, baby. You know, we ain't from the 419. We from the 41 Shine. That's my thing, right? So I got T-shirts coming up with that, pushing that. But nevertheless, I got the 41 Shine segment that's going to be highlighting individuals within the 419 that's doing positive, creative, financial moves, cats that's doing real big things in the 419, and that's the 41 Shine, right? But again, man, this is your boy E.I. Lee in the Thule Do, a weekly news recap. You know, welcome to the show, man. Like, we trying to make this thing pop, you know what I'm saying, and get it where it need to be. but it's gonna take a while. It's my journey. I appreciate y'all coming in, tuning in with me weekly while I try to put this thing together. Y'all can see and early on for the ones that's just getting in with me, you're gonna be able to see the progress and the development. I just that y'all help me and man, help pray for me, man. When y'all see me out, you see me making, making this effort. Hit me with the pound, man. Keep doing your thing, I already get that in anyway. I done got good calls from individuals. I done also got cats, man, hitting me on the inbox talking about they want to get down, they want to do something, but you never hear from them. They never say nothing about it or whatever. So I'm leery about some things about, letting cats into this thing, because for one, you got to take it seriously and you got to be motivating because, and sometimes, man, in some places, some moments, we all need a little upliftment. Some words of encouragement. So that's all this is, man. Just trying to give us for Toledo, because Toledo, one of them spots, man. We kind of act funny. Motherfuckers act shady towards cats, man. They, everybody want to keep their ideals like they ideal is big as fuck, like motherfucker won't, and even if like you'll kick an ideal and somebody else would go run off and try to make your ideal work. Because it was a good ideal when you should just make your ideal and do it. So I had an ideal I had an idea roughly a year or so ago about trying to do the podcast thing. I had already had certain pieces and things of that nature to try to put it off, but it was just about timing. A lot of it is procrastination, bullshitting yourself. So for me, man, now it's just like, fuck it. It's just a conversation that we having about, trying to grow, trying to develop, trying to uplift, trying to motivate, trying to inspire, trying to do better, wanting better. The thing is it's always been promoted, the American dream, that you can come here and do everything, that you can, it's the land of opportunity. So any day you can wake up and have an epiphany, have an ideal, and want to do something and grow and build. This is one of the few countries that encourage that. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the things that I like that make this country real great. I never been nowhere else. I never been no other place where possibly they'll hinder that. I couldn't even imagine that somebody will stop you from thinking. You know what I mean? In some cases, but I can see where they trying to stop us from. They are trying to stop us from thinking in some aspect or think a certain way, because the education is designed a certain way. The only thing that turned me, for the most part, in some aspect, I went outside the box. You know what I mean? So, and I went to the place where they put me in a timeout box, where they put those violators of violating the society norms and society rules when you go breaking laws. You know what I mean? They got a timeout box, which is called penitentiary, that they put you in. I've been there. One of the first things you do when you go in the penitentiary, if you got hair, they gonna cut your hair. You're gonna open your mouth wide, and the next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna be required to bend over, show the crack of your ass, and give a cough. So they want to see what's in your mouth and see what's in your ass when you first come through the motherfucking door. You gonna strip butthole fucking naked. Every motherfucker, you could be sitting there, and it's a room with 30, 40, maybe 50 motherfuckers. They gonna step you up. The first 5, 6 motherfuckers step up. How many ever officers? One officer to one motherfucker looking at them. It's a bunch of motherfuckers in the back of you, and the motherfuckers, you standing there with your dick out, ass straight out. Open your mouth. Do your hair like this. Open your mouth. Open your arms. Make sure you ain't got nothing on your arm. Turn around, lift up your back of your soles of your feet, bend over, and give a cough. They want to see your butthole open up. If that motherfucker open up like it's been tampered with and like something might be in it, nigga, you going in a special room and get treated different. Somebody gonna put their finger in your ass to check and see if you got some shit. So I advise all you young motherfuckers, man, all you young battle cats or super cats, thunder cats, motherfucker Molly the fuck out, whatever the fuck it is that you doing. This is, you better think about the consequences, bro. This shit ain't no joke. Cause in the motherfucking box in the timeout zone is different rules, bro. And they'll sit your motherfucking ass in there forever. You can spend forever in that motherfucker. Now if you think you tough, you can get sent up to them penitentiaries in the upper Peninsula of Michigan, motherfucker, where they'll whale your door shut. It's rumors of that kind of shit when I was through the Gus Harris facility. Now to show you where my transformation was at. I was born in Gus Harris County, which is Adrian, Michigan, right? So 20 some odd years ago, I get caught up in a situation in Monroe, Michigan. You know, Monroe County. You know. Nevertheless, I get a 3 to 10 charge and get sent up to Jackson, Michigan. The biggest wall prison in Northwest Ohio. I mean North America. A wall around the whole facility, the whole compound in Jackson, Michigan. Old penitentiary too. Right? Look like, man, you pick one of the tallest trees you can see outside. 30 some odd fucking tiers high. Look like 2 football fields long. It's a cell block. Niggas packed like sardines. Packed. You hear me? When I go out there, I'm on probably like the motherfucking like 10th or 5th tier, so I get to see down and I can see all the way up. They like, you can see this, it's massive. I knew right then and there I would never come back. I knew right then and there. I made the commitment right there. I wasn't tough. I think I was like 21 years of age. But see, I had a dumbass mentality, man. For one, I came up in the crack era, right? So at 15, I gave up my hoop dreams for the most part. I wanted to be like Gary Hill, you know. Not, you know, not knowing, pushing destruction, pushing poison through my neighborhood, not knowing or not thinking this was not okay. I thought it was cool in the crack era. I'm 15 and it's like people older than me are doing it and they getting ahead. This was where the big revolution of getting money came in because how fast the turnover was with crack. That's when cats moved away from petty crime or snatching purses and stick ups and shit like that, B&Es, to selling dope. Fuck hope, we got to selling dope. I didn't have no hope. It wasn't no hope when you seen $1,000. When you 15 and you can $1,000 in a fucking day, bro. That was everything was out the window, bro. It was like, but the thing is about that is mismanagement. But I only say this and I don't glorify it. I only say this to say that at 15, I made a conscious fucking decision that I was going to hustle from 15 to 25 because I thought that at 25, by 25, long as I get a job and I work till I'm 65, I'm going to get some Social Security. That's what I thought. at 15. Like, well, shit, man, I'll make a real strong commitment into these motherfucking streets. And at 25, I'm gonna get that shit up and I'm gonna go get me a job. That it almost went like that. I made that motherfucking commitment, and it somewhat went like that because at 25 I came out of the penitentiary. I've been straight. I've been away from doing crime in a sense of going back. You know what I mean? I ain't went back, but the thing was that, and I've been working. You know what I'm saying? So, but doing odd shit, try to work jobs and shit like that. But you get to doing jobs and man, and the way child support abuse your motherfucking ass, that shit ain't cool. You know what I'm saying? Motherfucker get $600 and these motherfuckers come and knock your shit down to $379, $349 or some shit like that, bro. They gonna damn near, you looking like damn near take half? I get it that you, but my thing is then you get, like, if I'm showing and proving that I'm taking care of this child, half paying this, woo whoop, this is going, that's, but to take it and then give it to an individual that's possibly not even doing that, and she walking around this motherfucker hair did with Jordans, I got a problem with that. I got a problem with that when you pull up on your spot and seeing and you knowing your money getting taken up out of your check, you pull up on that house, ain't no refrigerator in that motherfucker. The motherfucking blinds in that motherfucker is only like 6 of them on that motherfucker left from a motherfucker constantly peeking out the window and fucking them up. You know what I'm saying? Raggedy. You got motherfucking Spider-Man curtains and shit. It ain't even curtains. They Spider-Man. One is a Spider-Man sheet in one window, and the other one is a Pokemon sheet. Get the fuck out of here. Put my money back on my motherfucking card, man, and let me distribute that money the way I see fit and buy shit. You know what I'm saying? Especially if they at my house every weekend. Get the fuck out of here. But yeah, man, that's what it is, man. We in the Thule Do Eat with your boy E. Ali, the podcast, man. Frustrated, mad and frustrated, whatever. You know what I mean? This the weekly news recap where we talk about the bullshit that go on in Toledo. The shit that we need to do to get better. You know what I mean? Because like I say, man, we act a certain way, and it's funny acting to me. It's shady as fuck. Like, we can't never collab and do shit together, man, to make, you know, everybody want to see. This one of them motherfucker spots where everybody try to hide the plug, but everybody trying to know the plug. Everybody trying to hide the plug onto whatever, but then everybody trying to get the plug, but then everybody that got the plug hiding the plug. So it's that cat and mouse game. Your boy E. Ali, man, the Thule Do, the podcast, Toledo, Ohio premier podcast, where we talk about the issues of a weekly news recap on shit. The shit to go on and pop off in this funky motherfucker, man. Pothole. You know what I'm saying? You know, mud made. But this your boy, man, E. Ali, a.k.a. Mudbone. The city marshal, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I come to put a motherfucker under arrest for some of the dumb shit that you might see to go on around this funky motherfucker. So, but yeah, man, I'm going to keep on kicking and keep on chopping. Like I said, next week, man, we got a couple new segments. I got one that's been developed, that's being developed, or that's developed. And it's like I said, it's like, what's that brother name off the, shit. I forgot the brother name, man. Fuck it. But nevertheless, it's like that jackass. It's like the donkey of the day. This'll be your holy Toledo. Then I got one, man, for the financial literacy, for financial empowerment. Stack a dollar. Then we got a segment, man, in showing putting a light on people doing positive things in Toledo, Ohio, called the 4-1 Shine. So, also got T-shirts coming. I had that T-shirt next week, man, the 4-1 Shine. You know what I mean? Holla at your boy.